Welcome back, everybody, to the Spread Out Sports Podcast. I'm your co-host, Ben Rago, and I'm joined by my co-host, Alex. Alex, how you doing?
Doing great, bro. Doing great. We still haven't been able to talk about the Bears game, so we got a lot to talk about here, and we also have a special guest on, Mr. David Prince.
Very special guest. David, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I mean, as good as I can be, I guess. It's a tough week, but I'm happy to get this thing started. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's how we're all feeling.
And everybody, you can go follow David at Views by David on Twitter. He's a fantastic Bears Twitter. I'm I'm personally a fan, and that's why I love having you on and stuff. But I just want to talk about Bears, and so it's a complete pleasure.
Thanks, man. I'm just a fan like you. I just share my thoughts. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same exact way. So.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I love about your Twitter is that your tweets and your opinions are all just from the views of a pure Bears fan.
Yeah, it sucks though, man. This week's been tough.
Sometimes that just sucks. But let's get right into it. Let me just ask right now, what did you think of the game? What are your thoughts? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll start with some positives. The defense picked up right where it left off. I think it actually looked better. Chuck Pagano is going to be extremely important for the Bears this season. I think he's so aggressive, which is going to really, let the talent shine for this Bears defense. I mean, if you watch Monday Night Football with Vic Fangio, his defense, they didn't blitz at all. And Chuck Pagano is the complete opposite. And with the talent and the athletes that the Bears have on defense, it really shined through how terrific this defense can be. I think it's going to be better this year. They didn't get a turnover last game, but I think they're going to make up that in Denver this week. I think they're going to have a huge day, especially with Denver Broncos right tackle just got injured, so the rookie is going to be coming in, I believe. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be just a crazy atmosphere, and I think the Bears defense is going to feast. But the Bears offense, to go back to last Thursday night, it was just horrendous. It was just supposed to be their opening, their debut. This was supposed to be, a statement game. And it was just extremely disappointing. I don't really have much to say except for Trubisky really let us all down.
Yeah.
And so did Matt Nagy. This loss, usually you can blame just one person or two, but it really was on everybody on the offense. But what do you guys think?
Here's what I'd say. I was very nervous going into Thursday because the Bears, the last 6 years I think it is, they lost all their openers. So I really wasn't excited to play the Packers again in front of everyone and possibly crap the bed, which we did. But you and me both, David, are big Trubisky supporters, and it's tough right now to be a Trubisky supporter.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Trubisky supporter too.
I know, but we
come on.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm no hater. I'm definitely not a hater.
That's true. That's fair. But I agree, and you always say this on your tweets and stuff that all these players and quarterbacks will do just as bad, if not worse, than Trubisky, and Trubisky will get 40 times the hate that they get, and it's so unbelievably unfair. But I do agree. Trubisky's in year 3. He really needs to step it up this year. I'm just gonna hope this game was a fluke with just a combination of Matt Nagy, the Bears O-line, Trubisky, people not being able to catch, all that stuff coming together, playing, and all performing poorly. And I'm hoping that's what just made that game just a total literally a fumble as a game. I'm hoping that's what it was, and will be cleaned up in Denver. But I do agree with you. I was worried about if the Bears were to regress or anything like that. It would be if the defense couldn't put up the same numbers and look as good. And although they didn't get any turnovers, I mean that's asking a lot to get a pick or something against Aaron Rodgers. And we did it last year, but I mean the guy only threw one interception or so last year. So I don't think that's an easy task to do. So I wouldn't really count that one. But the Bears defense looked just as good, if not better. I completely agree. And Leonard Floyd looked fantastic. Rob and Roquan, they all looked fantastic. So I'm optimistic. And if the defense can play like that, they can do anything. So I'm hopeful, and I'm excited to see. And I saw that you tweeted out, David, that something about Trubisky's stats after a loss are pretty solid. So I'm hoping he can do the same. I'm hoping he can have another one of those good games. But what are your opinion, Alex? What do you think?
Definitely. Well, I think as far as Mitch's performance goes, I think everybody is so down on him because I think it was a culmination of playing the Packers week 1. and then all of the expectations on not only Mitch but on the entire team after the way the season ended last year.
Mhm.
So for them to go out there, for the defense to play as well as they did, hold Aaron Rodgers and company to 10 points. Yeah, they didn't have a turnover, but it's really hard to get the ball away from Aaron Rodgers. But I just think it was a combination of a lot of things. The receivers weren't getting open. Mitch just looked confused. Honestly, that was the biggest thing for me. He just didn't look comfortable. Like it wasn't him just sitting back there, making reads and stuff, throwing bad passes or whatever. He just looked lost. It looked like it was his first game in the NFL. It was really discouraging for me.
Yeah, and in year 3. I hope he can improve, and I'm tired of hearing the whole Watson and Mahomes talk now because
if you guys don't mind, let me go on a little rant about the Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, go ahead.
So I was speaking with a couple people this week who watch a lot of film. So and they were talking about Trubisky. His first game, like I said, his offensive line wasn't that great. Matt Nagy, his play calling wasn't that great. But here's the issue with Trubisky. His draft mates, Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Mahomes, he doesn't have a great defense, but he has a great offense. Deshaun Watson has a horrible offensive line, but he can still make plays. Trubisky, I don't want to baby him anymore because he is in his third year. He didn't make any plays. He should, second overall in his second year in Nagy's offense, he should be able to make up for poor offensive line play, especially with his athletic ability. And Matt Nagy, even though he wasn't playing his play calling wasn't great, he had a lot of throws that he missed. And I'm just tired of, obviously the narrative between those two, they're always going to be compared, Mahomes and Watson and Trubisky. And it sucks. And obviously, I think I've muted Trubisky, Mahomes, and Watson on my timeline for at least the next week. But it's up to Trubisky to perform right now. He needs a bounce back game. Otherwise, there's a real question mark because this defense. I think there was a tweet that said if Patrick Mahomes had the Bears defense, they would have won a Super Bowl by now.
Oh, easily.
And that's the issue. I don't need Trubisky to be Mahomes, but he can't be Rex Grossman. He can't be Blake Bortles. So he needs to come out, play at the level at least he played last season to give the Bears a chance. But I really do expect this kid to come out, and really shut up the critics, and just have a big game. He knows Vic Fangio. He knows, the tendencies. And then, Denver's horrible. Denver looked awful on Monday night.
Yeah, they lost to Oakland. So
they lost to Oakland. So if the Bears don't come out and punish this team, then we're going to have a lot of question marks, and we're going to have a huge discussion about, what this year is actually going to be. Yeah. But they have to perform on Sunday. So.
Well, the Bears' odds for winning the division, they just dropped to third in the division. Which I think is a little ridiculous after one game. The Vikings look pretty good in beating up Atlanta. I don't know if that was just
Kirk Cousins had 98 yards. They looked great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was mostly Dalvin Cook. But I think their defense is definitely going to make a bounce back this year. And I was very scared about the Packers. I think their defense is a little better than they were chalked up to be. I think that definitely played into Mitch's performance, but overall, we need a bounce back game against the Broncos because they're not a good team. This isn't the Peyton Manning Broncos. Like this is not a good
Joe
Broncos
Flacco.
Team. Yeah, Joe Flacco. They're paying him $20 million.
Yeah,
He's in trouble.
Yeah, I think the Bears, to silence everything, even if they win, but it's not the greatest game, it'll still be like, oh goodness. But I just want to see a statement game. I want to see that because then if they make a statement game, honest to God, for me at least, and maybe a good amount of Bears fans will be completely like, all right, that Packers game clearly was just some kind of just all these pieces coming together, or I guess you could say not coming together to make this just storm of horribleness. And I'm just hoping they can come together actually, and just whoop Vic Fangio's team. I mean, again, you said they didn't look anything special, and I'm hoping that our own line can give Joe Flacco enough troubles that he'll be completely uncomfortable. And honestly, I think I'm not really worried about our defense. I hope Trubisky can perform.
Here's the thing. Going into Denver, this couldn't be a more perfect scenario for Trubisky. Mm-hmm. He had an awful week 1 showing, but guess what? He gets to go against the best defensive mind in the game, Vic Fangio, Von Miller. That defense is actually legit. They're very good. They played poorly against the Raiders, but it's set up for a perfect storm. If he can just come out, light them up, kind of like Tampa Bay. I'm not expecting 6 touchdowns, but, 300 yards, 3 to 4 TDs, and no interception, just play a crisp game. Plus the defense, creates turnovers, which, is going to help with field position. And the Bears can just blow this team out. Then it's going to change heads. It might not change everyone, but at least in Chicago, we're going to have that confidence moving forward that Trubisky can perform, can bounce back from adversity.
Definitely.
But this is the perfect storm. This is a huge test. Can the kid bounce back? We don't know. We're going to have to see. So,
no, I mean, especially with him seeing what Mahomes and Watson did, I really, really hope he has a chip on his shoulders, and especially playing Fangio too. I just feel like there's a lot of storylines and a lot going into this game. So if he lays another dud, he's gonna be under a lot of heat. That's for sure.
There's gonna be people calling for his job. I guarantee. If he throws 2 picks, no touchdowns, 200 yards again, there's gonna be people, looking to get another quarterback in the draft, or even looking for a quarterback this season, depending how bad of a performance. It really it sucks, but it's true, especially with the pressure from Mahomes and Watson just building. If he if he lays an egg, or he just doesn't perform, it's going to be tough on him. And I've never seen a quarterback who has such good character, who is just a good leader. He says what, needs to be said, and he's perfect off the field, no trouble. But he gets so much scrutiny, and it's because of that draft class. I mean, he got dragged on Twitter. He's still getting dragged. Yeah. I mean, if you just go back, if you type in Trubisky on the search bar and just search his name, I mean, memes, videos, just the kid, he got dragged, and rightfully so. But to be honest, he threw more. He actually, I think, had almost a better game than Aaron Rodgers. He had more passing yards. Besides that interception, he was, keeping his team in it. And as bad as it was, the criticism he's getting is just tough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Baker Mayfield who runs his mouth and does all this, and he throws 3 picks in one game to open the season, and he's not getting any. It's like, and he did have a great season last year, but so did Trubisky. He went 11-3 as a starter, and people were just like,
24 touchdowns, 14 picks. Yeah.
12 picks, right?
Well, was it 12?
Yeah, I think it was.
It might have been 12.
And I've talked about this in the podcast that Trubisky last year, I know he's capable of it. I mean, he did it last year. I mean, the guy's QBR, which is a pretty good stat, I think, it was the 3rd highest QBR, or highest average QBR of all active quarterbacks, and he was just behind Mahomes and Breeze. So, I mean, the guy has shown he can play well and everything. I just hope, it doesn't, if it is going to happen this year, he's going to do the same thing or better. I hope it doesn't take too long because, I mean, the Bears.
Well, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to be real with you. Like I said, I was speaking with a couple people who are close just to the Bears situation, who have, seen Trubisky, that have watched his film. The issue with Trubisky on Monday night, on last Thursday night, it could be really bad. Like, he really didn't. After his first read, he would run.
No.
He looked like he couldn't read progressions, and that could be rust. And I'm hoping it is.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, if he couldn't read, what the defense was giving him, or just going to his second option, or going to Tariq Cohen on drop, that could be a huge issue. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping it was rust. I'm hoping kind of maybe nerves or something like that. Was the case, because I mean, it could be that. But last year, we saw him progress. We saw him be able to go through his first, second, and third option. So I don't know what the deal was. I really think it was rust, but hearing just, as bad as it was, just looking at the film, because he literally, on that interception to Amos, he stared down Muhammad. He didn't look anywhere else. And if you do that in the NFL, I don't care if it's Adrian Amos or just, some scrub, you're going to get picked. You can't do that. So
he left another 2 or 3 picks on the field too. The Packers dropped at least 2. I know.
And the thing I'll say about that throw at the end, he did stare it down, and I'm not defending him. I guess I am a tiny bit, because I agree that he played like he played like trash, and the only reason I'm defending him a little bit, I guess, is just to keep myself optimistic, because I'm just too scared of a Hall of Fame worthy defense or whatever you want to call it being wasted by a subpar quarterback, which we have lived through as the 2006 Bears, who I've read an article that said the worst quarterback to ever go to a Super Bowl was Rex Grossman, which is just it doesn't even surprise me. I'm not saying Trubisky is Rex Grossman, but I just don't want to go through another great defense because this defense has the potential to be a defense that is known for years to come. Of like even down when they're retired, people are like, "Wow, remember that